Now, when I'm sitting here and I'm, saying stuff about like the Nocturne in the game before, it's because it's pretty fucking ridiculous. Like, let me just watch the pathing. So assume that you're a professional jungler player, okay? Because the game was over. It was over. I am going to have my way with him. He's going to be Hannah, I'm going to be Bryce. So let's take a look at Nocturne's route. So if you're Nocturne right here, okay, you do have the luxury of being able to power farm pretty early. Your bottom lane, you can't really do anything for it. If you are going to gank a lane, it will be top lane. And I guess you could gank mid lane at like level 3. So let's just follow Nocturne's path for a second. This is the game I got really upset because it should have been a free win. So he does red, and then he immediately paths up into blue, even though he could do wraiths first. Now, you're against a grave, so you don't want to fall behind inside of the jungle, and you do want to eat this as it's rubber banded to level 4 or level 5, so I don't know why he doesn't take it right away. So this is first point, and we count this when he has 20 CS and he shows up at wraiths. Then he moves behind his blue, and he immediately goes to the Scuttle Crab, because I would definitely want to gank from something that would need this location. No, I wouldn't. I don't give a shit about this. If I'm gonna gank, it's gonna be like this, or I'm gonna come in like this and path here, or I'm gonna stand right here and E forward as Aurelia goes on Lulu. I know I am. So I do this route because I understand what Nocturne should be thinking. And now I come into Wraiths to see if he has it. Now, if Nocturne ends up having the Wraith camp here, I can determine his location to be around here, which means that I can path down into golems, eat his golems, recall, and then match him on the left-hand side of the map around the time that he would be looking to try to get some intel onto me after he's cleared his left side jungle. What this ends up doing is Nocturne recalls, and then Nocturne is forced to path to the right-hand side of the map where he has no camps other than his Wraiths. I get to clear my left-hand side jungle off a recall and path into the right-hand side of the map, which is where he's forced to go after his initial recall, which now means I am simultaneously protecting mid lane and bottom lane and potentially contesting the new Scuttle Crab and potentially his Wraiths if he doesn't choose to eat them right away after they've respawned. I come in here and I see that his Wraiths haven't been touched. So we know at this point that Nocturne is around here, and we know that he can gank from the left-hand side, and then I ward this because I assume at this point, now also I could have probably paid a little bit better attention to, this is fucking stupid. So I just wanted to not give away my location, and I want Lulu to not take a trade. This is a fucking pretty bad thing by me though. So now after this, I path into his golems, and this should further actually make them think that I haven't invaded the right-hand side because Lulu, unless they read Lulu's pathing as, okay, she's trying to run to graves. So I end up eating the golems, and Nocturne clears his entire left-hand side jungle. So he doesn't read the fact that Lulu kited into river and flashed over this wall, which doesn't make any sense. So Nocturne doesn't read this. The second that Nocturne sees this, he should beeline for my red side jungle, because they know that I didn't start red side, which means that he can get my Wraiths, he can get my red, and then he can take the blast cone up to the golems, which I'm not going to path to, and Camille's under too much pressure to be able to ward it and then contest with him. He can eat all of this, recall, and then path right into his rubber banded camps, but he doesn't do this at all because, can't spell jungle. So what ends up happening here is he eats the jungle camps, and then he comes right over a fucking ward. We see him. He eats his one Wraith.
Doesn't look like it should happen.
Now, Twitch chat, let me tell you what happens here, because you'll notice that my Gromp is gone, okay? So, what's gonna happen here is me being Bryce Walker, I'm going to eat my red, I'm going to eat my Wraiths, and then if this little shitlord gets a fucking funny idea to come up to Wolves, well, I'm gonna meet him there. And then I have the recall on him. So now I'm gonna chase his little ass back into his jungle, I'm gonna path through mid lane into his jungle because he just told me exactly all his clear timers. I'm gonna get to his Wolves, I'm gonna steal them in front of his face, I'm gonna kite up into Gromp, KFO is now under pressure, being forced to back up off Camille. I'm gonna smite the Gromp and kill it, and I'm gonna path out, and we're gonna have a 2-level disparity inside of the jungle, in which case all Lulu and fucking bottom lane has to do is just simply not die. After this, I'm going to recall. After I potentially get a Scuttle Crab right here, I'm going to recall, path right into my Gromp. It's going to be rubber banded and it's coming up for me. I'm going to get the Gromp and I'm going to apply pressure off of bottom lane, and then I'm going to path immediately back into Nocturne's Golem, steal them away from him and tell him he can have one camp. But we don't get to do this because this. But it's really fun, you know, streaming these games and then complaining, you know, pretty loud about how bad Jin and Vigar are, and then having people in chat say that I'm being ridiculous, or I'm over-exaggerating, even though I just mapped out the next 3 minutes for you. And yes, you can interject with your silver, gold, fucking low platinum analysis, your fucking 60% win rate, and be like, well, Nocturne doesn't have to go to Wolves. Congratulations, yeah, he doesn't have to go to Wolves. And then I'm still gonna do the same exact path because it is static. I'm gonna do boom, 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 and he doesn't have a say. The only thing that this ends up saving him is if he recalls right away, he has an inefficient route to the top side of the jungle after Camille has come off of a post-recall. He's not going to be level 6, so he can't actually gank Camille up in top lane, which means that now he paths up here. He can't gank mid lane from the left-hand side because I'm covering Lulu from the right-hand side. Jesus fuck, man. You like this?
I think we would have won.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think
I would have been level 5.5.
I think your idea of the game is a winning idea.
Thanks. Thanks, Max. Fucking Christ. Professional jungler, by the way. Yeah, the mistake of not killing Aurelia is bad, but it does change up the future rotations, because then, if I kill Aurelia and Nocturne already saw me taking the Wraiths, he'll path into my red side. But, now this changes things. This is why this game is beautiful. I will know that he saw me killing Wraiths, and I will not go to Golems, and I will run across mid lane to my Wraith camp. Nocturne's probably going to meet me somewhere around the Wraith camp, throw his little fucking dust trail to let me know that he hates me, and then I'm going to proceed to take the Wraith camp in his face. He's going to back up, probably go into mid lane, absorb some of the XP, and path into his right-hand side jungle, and then proceed to his Golems. He's going to go to the Golems, consume them, recall, and path to Wolves. Because he doesn't have another fucking choice. Don't worry, I can talk about stuff like this in depth, but if I make a patch rundown, I have to talk about fucking everything to cover my ass from every angle. I don't have the luxury of just making a blanket statement and producing a 2.5 minute long video.
Who can trust you?
Yeah, who can trust me? No one. I am, what?
Hey.
Yeah, hi.
What's going on?
What's going on here?
You doing okay?
That's really weird.